Here are my top 5 most anticipated books for 2026. I know this is like 6 months too early maybe, or 5 months too early to be making this video, because we don't exactly have specific publication dates for these books. And then when it comes to knowing which ones come out when, I'm kind of just going by what Goodreads says, and that might be a poor way to do it, but it's the way I'm doing it. So yeah. Also, there will be spoilers for everything up until these books, because all of them are sequels. None of them are brand new books. First, we have Mistborn Era 3 Book 1, or Mistborn Ghostbloods, as Brandon Sanderson calls the series. I believe this takes place in like a 1980s technology on Scadrial. I am excited to see the freaking technological upgrades and how that has changed with the magic system. I believe we follow an office worker. I think I'm not sure, but I'm curious to see the Ghostbloods and how they've changed in this time. I can't wait to see Kelsier again, although I don't know if we're going to see him in book 1. I really want to know how this fits in with everything beforehand and what's going on Roshar. I want to know if Autonomy is coming back to try and throw hands with freaking Scadrial. Who's going to be the main op in Ghostbloods? Could it be Kelsier? Who knows? I am so excited. I want to read this book so bad. I think Ghostbloods is going to have such huge implications, especially for the second half of Stormlight. And I'm also excited to see what cameos we get. Cameos are always fun. And I know with the Lost Metal, he was taking his gloves off. He was diving into the wider Cosmere. And I got a feeling that Ghostbloods is going to be very, very Cosmere heavy, because you have to read the Lost Metal before you can read Ghostbloods. And if the gloves were off for the Lost Metal, there's no way you can just read Mistborn Era 3 and not be Cosmere aware now. There's just no way that's happening. I'm excited to see what happens to Sazed. I want to know if he gains control over his powers as Harmony, or he becomes Discord, as like the fans are theorizing. I don't know. It's going to be freaking crazy. Catch me ready to freaking download that book into my veins. Anytime a mainline Cosmere book is released, it feels like a book leading up to the Avengers. It feels like a movie leading up to the 2012 Marvel Avengers. More like the movies after the first Avengers, leading up to Infinity War and Endgame. Does that kind of make more sense? It's gonna be so fire. I'm so ready, guys. It's gonna be so hype. The next book we have here is The Lord of Demons, which is book 3 in the Burning. Book 1 was The Rage of Dragons. Book 2 was The Fires of Vengeance. Goodreads says the expected publication is January 2026, but Google says October 2025. And I don't know which one to believe. So if anybody knows in the comments, let me know down there. It's been a while since I've read those 2 books, and so I need to reread them for sure so I can get a good refresher. It's probably been about 2 years or something like that. I think The Burning is going to be a 4-book series, so this next book isn't going to conclude it, I think, but I'm ready to see my man Tau Orifarm. I think we're going to see some real implications of what he does, what he throws himself into to train into the underworld or whatever, and we've seen that been taking a toll on his sanity. I think we're going to finally see it really all catch up to him at this point and catch up to the others he has been training to do the same thing. And I think changes are going to have to be made, or they're going to have to find some sort of external source to protect them from these like hallucinations, or maybe not hallucinations. I can't even remember what they are. I want to know if Tao's gonna marry his baddie and he's gonna become the freaking king. I don't know if he should be king right now. I don't know if he's mentally stable enough to lead a kingdom. I hope not. No offense to him, but I also think that there might be like some sort of political marriage between his bae and somebody else, and then he has to sit there and be freaking cuckolded. So I hope that doesn't happen to my dog. Those are my theories right now. We'll see what Evan Winter does, but like I said, I'm just super excited to see my man Tao Orifarm and just like go absolutely ham on all the ops. Next we have Red God by Pierce Brown. But didn't Lightbringer and Red God, weren't those supposed to be one book or something like that? I can't remember, but having those be 2 books, definitely a good idea for sure. I feel like it has been 3 years since the last book, and I think there was a shorter time between Dark Age and Lightbringer, unless I'm crazy. But I think Red God's gonna be a fat chunker, probably longer than Dark Age. I think it's gonna be, he said, his longest book so far. I think Darrow's gonna die. Oh my god, I don't want Darrow to die, because Cassie's just died, dude. This is all spoilers, by the way. I feel like it's gonna happen, but at the same time, I want Pax to have his father. That way Darrow can like make up for not really being there all that much during his childhood, and he can actually raise his son. Don't let Darrow die. Darrow's not even my favorite character. You know who I bet's gonna die? Probably be Severo. Severo's probably cooked. I know Severo spent a lot of time with his daughter, so he doesn't really have that there. So I think that he might die, or Victra might die. I don't think Mustang's gonna die. I'm just listing off who I think is gonna die. Is Lyria gonna die? I don't think Lyria's gonna die. Volga might die low-key. It's gonna be crazy. This might be one of the best books of the entire series right now. I think Dark Age is my favorite, and then Lightbringer. I think it's gonna surpass the two. Maybe I'm just overhyping myself. I don't freaking know. But what I do know is that it's gonna be fire. And I'm not even that much of a sci-fi guy, but when I read Red Rising, it feels like a fantasy book. The next book we have is The Thorn of Emberlain by Scott Lynch. According to Goodreads or Google or whatever, I mean, the cover's already out and it says next year, early next year. So is it gonna happen after, I don't know, over a decade? I hope it is. Maybe I'm just coping. I don't know. But we have book 4 in the Gentleman Bastard series. Book 1, The Lies of Locke Lamora, super amazing. I think I like Red Seas Under Red Skies more. I think that was my favorite one. And then The Republic of Thieves is probably my least favorite. I was looking through Goodreads and I see how many books are going to be in this series. And it's like a frick ton, guys. It's like a frick ton of these books. And it's been 10 years since Republic of Thieves and The Thorn of Emberlain, which is coming out. You know, we just recently learned about Locke's past and who he is, or if that is true. I can't remember if it was confirmed or not. And so what does that mean? You know, what does that mean for the future of Locke, and what does that mean for what's going to go on in Emberlain? Like, first of all, I'm pretty sure that's Locke on the cover, and my man is just giving crazy amount of aura. Looks absolutely freaking insane. God, I'm so excited for that book. I think that The Thorn of Emberlain might be the book I'm the most excited for on this list, because I love The Gentleman Bastards. It is in my top 10 series of all time. It's definitely a series and a writing style that's not for everybody, but for those of you who like it, God tier. Absolutely God tier. I can't wait to see Jean again and Sabitha. And when I think about how much more we have to go after The Thorn of Emberlain, that makes me very happy and very excited for the future. All right, the final book I'm really looking forward to in 2026 is Legendborn book 4 by Tracy Dion. I've only read book 1 and I'm gonna get book 3 soon, and then I'm gonna pound through books 2 and 3 pretty fast in preparation for book 4. For the most part, I think she's been releasing them like once every year or two. I thought that this was originally going to be a 3-book series, so I thought Oathbound was going to be the final one, but apparently there's a book 4, and I've only read the first one. But I remember it making such a lasting impact on me, especially because Bree was just dealing with her grief of losing her mom. And if, for those of you who don't know, I've also lost my mom, and so I really resonated with Bree in a lot of areas, which made me really attached to the character. And even though I've only read book 1, like, I feel deeply attached to this series as a whole. And I know it's been popping off. I know everybody's been talking about it, especially with Oathbound being released. I'm excited to jump into it. I know it's been a while. I didn't really want to hop on the train and read a book just because the hype was big when it came out. I want to read it when I'm ready and, you know, appreciate it and really make it mean what it means to me, and not just for content, not just for numbers, and not just for views. And then there's a high chance I'm going to be getting each of these books on their release dates, because I am super hyped for all of these, and getting books on their release dates is not what I do. And I've only done that for The Lost Metal and Wind and Truth and Fury of the Gods. But things are going to change. They're going to change soon for all of these books. I'm going to be there day freaking 1, baby. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and tell me what books you are really looking forward to in 2026, and tell me what you think of any of the books that I've listed here. And yeah, I'll catch you later. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow all my socials, check out my wishlist and my sponsor.